I'm Hannah and I'm 18 years old and I live in Hertfordshire. I've had mental health problems for a number of years now. They first started actually when I was very, very young, I'd say around 7 or 8, and progressively got worse from there. When I went to school, I was quite seriously bullied, and so my response was to build walls around myself so that no one could ever get in and hurt me. But by doing that, I also stopped my feelings escaping. They stayed inside and they just built up and built up. It was like this huge fireball of emotions and feelings that had stayed inside of me and almost ate away at my soul. When I was 12 or 13, I developed anorexia. A lot of the reason I'd become ill was because of pressure with schoolwork, and I felt a huge pressure to be perfect, to get good grades, to have a perfect life, which is where my anorexia developed from, because I associated being thin with being perfect. I attempted to kill myself and ran away from home and was put into hospital, in a psychiatric hospital for adolescents. I didn't sleep, I didn't eat, and I didn't talk. Inside my head, there was so many negative feelings, I just couldn't get the words out. It was very difficult for the nurses in hospital to break that down. It was kind of, we were working at the wall both ways. I was trying to break out of it and they were trying to break in. When I let some of these nurses in, it was like I had a new little family. We would cook, we would do activities, we would go for walks. Probably the most important thing they did was help me laugh again. I was very, very lucky to have a fantastic therapist who actually became a very good friend, and she really helped me build up my confidence, build up my self-esteem. Once I realised that having a mental health problem is nothing to be ashamed of, talking to people about it became much easier. When I tell my friends about how difficult my life can be sometimes, I think they're quite surprised, because I do put on quite a good front that things are good, which probably isn't very helpful, because that's what I used to do, pretend things were all right when actually they're not.
So we love it when there's the fights at the forum.
Living with mental health can be quite tricky at times. It's like almost like I've got two lives that run parallel to each other. One is the normal 18-year-old side of my life, and one is the mental health side of my life. And I have to make sure I've got the right balance of each, because unfortunately mental health dictates a lot of what I do in my everyday life. I miss quite a lot of school because some days I can barely get myself out of bed, let alone concentrate on schoolwork.
You haven't got the picture of
It dictates how much I go out, because if I go out and get drunk, then I'll get depressed, and then if I get depressed, my mood deteriorates. Alongside that, I have to make sure that I keep as busy as possible. It's one of my main coping mechanisms, but again, the busier I am, the more tired I am, and then the more tired I am, the more I miss school, and the more I miss school, the worse my mood gets, and it's kind of like a never-ending cycle, really. Another way that I cope is by having things to look forward to, especially when I'm having a phase when my mood is very, very low and I'm finding life really difficult. Having something to look forward to can really mean the difference between keeping going and just giving up. It really helps me to combat the negative feelings, and it really helps me cope with my life.